Welcome back to what is possibly episode 10. We're unsure of the numbers.
We think. We're getting high up there, though, which is a good
Episode 10.
Good news.
Today we're going to do a little bit of reminiscing on the past. But first, let's get to introducing everyone. Somewhere on the screen is the beautiful, magical, mystical Kent Daddy Petrus. Kent, take it away.
Was the nicest and most shocking intro I have ever heard. But good morning and welcome to your morning cup of coffee, where we are responsible for your daily dose of caffeinated inspiration. And with us today, we have three of our four favorite Sunday Fun Day guests. As you can tell, we've had one of our members MIA for 2 straight weeks. But nevertheless, we have our favorite Nolan Barowie, Joey Jacobzak, and Chucky Wilson.
Always great to be here.
Thank you.
Did you like that caffeinated inspiration?
No, it was terrible. We'll never do that again.
It was good.
I feel caffeinated when I listen to it.
I liked it.
All right,
We're
Ken.
here to kickstart your day. No, you take it away, Andy.
Well, you have the list of what we're talking about, so you kind of got to take it away.
We're taking a road down memory lane, as some would say, going back to the past, where our old stomping grounds, where the apple fell from the tree before we started rolling away from it. Just taking it away. Take it away, Andy.
Does anybody else think that he pre-prepared these and he's reading them off like a
Yeah,
Google
he's
Doc?
out of material now, so he's
What?
like,
What are we going to talk about?
We got to do this. Well, I guess our first topic we're going to talk about.
I'm taking an improv class right now.
Kent, what is
Not
the
going
first
well,
topic on the list?
We had a safe word that you're supposed to say it.
R2D2.
Golf balls.
Oh,
I think Nolan should lead the charge on this one to
I
start.
agree.
This is Nolan's doing.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
have
direction
not
where the
one,
golf
but
balls
2 incidences with golfing and golf balls. The first one, I remember it was right after I got off a cruise with Chucky, actually. And
Yep.
you're back home, and I'm hitting golf balls, and Kent, why are you laughing? Is this story funny to
I have a
you?
golf ball story when I was with Andy, but I'll say it afterwards.
Okay, so I'm out hitting golf balls, and Joey and his brother Andy stroll over, and what's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm just hitting golf balls. And that day, I had the great idea to decide I'm getting tired of hitting out from the house. I want to hit them towards the house and see how well I can try and thread the needle through Aunt Barb's garage and my house.
Oh, yeah.
Great decision.
It was not my brightest idea. I remember just taking that shot from the 5 high. I just cranked this thing, and it's going right towards my deck, and it somehow made it over the swing or porch swing, and we just hear a shattering. And all I hear to the left of me is Joey and Andy go, "That's an awesome shot." I'm like, yeah, all right, I killed it.
If I could say something, you did not hit a single good shot that entire time. That one, fucking line drive. And I
It
remember,
was straight as
I
an arrow.
remember you
It was
going.
cooked.
I remember you going. We were like, how far do you think this one is? And you're like, I think a 5 hybrid is good. He's like, yeah, no way I hit the house with a 5. Right there, right to it.
So luckily, our windows were double paned. Good work when building the house, Mom and Dad, if you're listening.
Hey,
They weren't too happy as I was.
Windows.
Yeah, I was pumped up about the shot because I really did think I hit a great shot.
It was amazing.
I think we've been sitting on the fairway. I'm dancing.
He's
But
dancing.
yeah, my parents didn't really take that one as
Dancing.
well.
That was really cool.
But that wasn't my only incident with the houses and golf balls, and somehow none of this, I've never hit a house on a golf course, but I guess when I'm just driving in my backyard or in Andy's
Front yard.
front yard, things are really going to get interesting. The one night, Andy had Chucky and I spend the night for a little slumber party.
Cute.
And the next morning, Chucky and Andy are out hitting golf balls. I walk out there and I'm like, oh, that's cool. We're hitting golf balls in the front yard.
Keep in mind, There's
Like,
houses
these
every
houses are
10
close to
feet,
each other.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also sucked at golf so much that we were like, no, like we won't.
There's no way.
Like,
So they go, here's the club goal, and take a shot. I'm like, okay. And another one of these instances where it just always happens to me. I'm attracted to houses, I guess, when I hit golf balls. This thing is a shot. Line drive right up the middle and just whacks the siding of the neighbor's house.
Right into poor Mr. Gatto's house. The dent is still
Dude,
there to this day.
I couldn't sleep for a week straight. I'm like, they're coming for me.
I thought we were fucked.
They know.
That dude was like crazy about his house.
I remember him like hitting it, and we're all like, "Where'd it go?" And then you just hear like the big like smack of the house, and we're all
Hit
like,
the siding.
My favorite part of that
He's
was
dead.
like, before Nolan was like, "I'm gonna hit the house." Like, I know I'm gonna hit the house. Like, I don't want to hit the house. I'm like, "No, you're fine. Just swing away. We're not gonna hit the house."
because me and Andy are like,
Right into it.
Swing away.
I can't believe I don't even know why I thought about doing it, but yeah, I couldn't get any sleep after that one. I thought I was a dead man walking.
It's even funnier because we had a driver.
yeah.
But to this day, if you walk up towards Andy's house and look at the house on the left, there still is a dent in the siding.
Yep.
You can see a change in the color on it.
Get out of town. Is that truth?
No.
Yeah, it's still there to this day. Next time when we're at my house over spring break,
We'll go take a look at
Hey,
it.
for real.
Take a walk down memory
No
lane.
cap, homie.
Ain't no cap.
But those are my golf ball stories.
Ken, what's your story?
Well, I'm thinking about it. I think it was a lot more funnier just in the moment of just going through my mind. But all I could think of is when we went to Outer Banks and we were golfing.
Oh my
it was
God,
me,
this is
your
bad.
dad, and your dad's brother.
Yeah,
Not Frank.
Dave.
Dave. He's so much fun. But anyway, I remember golfing, and just like the whole thing was just so perfect. It was a beautiful course, very expensive, and it was just a horrible golf performance off the tee. And I remember we're like the golf, like the fairway,
Yeah,
straight, and there's houses just all on
like
both
really like big mansion type house.
huge, beautiful houses. And I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I remember Andy's just been slicing it all day long. And his dad, like, we've been getting really close to the houses, and his dad's like getting a little spicy about it, you know.
Yeah, he was
because
not
it's a nice
happy.
golf course, you know. We want to be respectful, and like so. We get to this, like, we've been getting really close. He's been looking at Andy. We've been, like, sailing it over houses when we're really close. And then all of a sudden, we get to one, probably the most narrow drive we have, and there's houses really close. So we're sitting there like, all right, we can't screw this one up because it needs to be a great shot. And so Andy, he's like, I've been slicing it all day. So as natural, you know, you go up there, and like, instead of hitting straight, I've been slicing it. All right, I'm going to play the slice a little bit this hole, so, you know, let's go straight. And so, like, we're all sitting there, you know, sitting with our clubs, like, man, here we go. Like, God bless him. You can see his dad's already ready to yell at him. And then he's like, play the slice, swings it dead straight. Right in the house, you hear the bang, and I don't even think your dad let the rest of us tee off, that we just went down.
The look he gave us after he looked at me, and you know, like when my dad gets mad, he's like, "What the fuck were you thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?"
And you're like, I was trying to pass. He's like,
No.
aiming
I'll
right
play
at
the
house.
slice.
What was even more fucked up is that like 4 holes later, he's fucking teeing off, or he's hitting like a chip shot, and he walks up and he nails someone's back patio, and it just goes unnoticed. He's like, I think he yelled like he was like, "Fuck!" And then he's like, we're not playing the last hole, and we just left.
He's like, we're going. We're just leaving.
That was Andy.
He's like,
I
what
think
a
Andy's got a
horrible
knack
show.
for hitting houses with golf balls because last semester we went to this place called Mud Run,
Oh my god.
and the ninth hole it like comes right up to the clubhouse, right? And he's about like what 70 yards out. He pulls out his
Yeah.
like 7-iron, and he's like my trusty number 7, and he like hits it right. He chips it, and I think both of our like depth perception was way off because it looked like it was going straight to the hole. We're like, oh my god, what a shot! The next thing you know, you see the ball it's sailing like 100 yards past the hole. And we're like, you can't tell where it's going to drop. And then you just see it nail the roof of the clubhouse and start rolling down. And it trickles like in one direction and rolls into the parking lot. And we're like, oh shit.
Trustee number 7.
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh, R2D2.
Oh, man. Penis slice times 2.
Oh my gosh.
This is a fucked up story. Joey, were you there for both times? Was
I
everyone
was
for
there
both
for
times?
the original Christmas Eve penis lighting
Yeah,
ceremony.
So
Yeah.
Those poor people.
we're not
just
going to name any names. We
trying
don't
to
know
be
their
nice.
names. First off,
This never happened.
this didn't even happen in Valley View
We're just pretending.
with quotations around
Could
it.
have been.
So it's like is it Christmas Eve or the night
It
before?
is. It is Christmas Eve. Like it is like the 23rd to the 24th.
Yeah.
But
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're all hanging out, and we're like, there's these people that just moved into our village, and
Nice people.
they put up these
So it
lights
was our
that say
village.
peace, and it's during COVID, and I don't know
It
who
was the nicest
probably was.
thing.
No, it was my dad that told us like, hey, you should go do this because my dad
Was it
told
during
me.
COVID or was it a little bit before?
I
it
think that was
before. It was before because it was 2019.
Around.
How
Oh,
did you, how do you
yeah.
know that?
Because I have the memory in my phone and I always go
Yeah.
back to it and I know where it's at.
Yeah. So
Allegedly.
I think I texted everyone. I was like, hey, these people have these lights that say peace. We should go change it to say penis one night, and we do it that night, Christmas Eve, and
Rally together.
we had like over 10 guys go to change like 6 lights. We had 2 people by
It was
like,
amazing.
the corner, the 2 people by the corner of Morningside, 3 people laying in the grass checking like the other side of Morningside, 4 people changing the lights.
It was an operation.
It was
Yeah.
an operation.
I know.
We knew what we were doing.
I know. I had like a little pocket knife, because they had like zip ties everywhere, and we were kind of like sitting back, and we're like, what are we gonna change these to, And we were going between like a dick or like, no, I was there for both because the second one we changed to a dick.
Yeah,
right?
because it was a heart.
Yeah,
we changed
that's
it to
right.
a dick.
That's right. I know we were debating it would like change to some like bazungas or like whatever the hell, So, I mean, we changed it to penis, and it was amazing because it
One
was
would
perfect.
say that, had we done this, this is maybe what it would have looked like.
Oh my
Or
God.
Maybe I don't know. Could have been anybody.
It wasn't
but,
We should.
beautiful.
I might post those on the story.
It wasn't beautiful, but it got the point across.
The penis sign?
I think the funniest thing was having like my neighbors be like, "Did you guys see the people that put a penis on their house? Like, what's wrong with that?"
And they just moved in. They like moved
Yeah,
in that
Just
day.
moved in.
It was their
The
first
funniest part
Christmas.
is that the funniest thing is thinking like all of their family coming in the next day for Christmas Eve,
Oh my
like,
God.
hey,
See the new house?
you
I
guys
just moved in.
your sign.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you still have a
weird
picture
choice
of it.
to Put your
They
sign
probably
up.
walked outside and were like,
They're
"What the deuce?"
mortified.
Oh my God. It's like the wife comes out, starts bitching at the husband, like, why the hell did you put the sign as penis? Like,
The
I
funniest
don't think
thing
I
is though, what did we do it a year later for Valentine's Day? They put
Yeah.
up a heart.
They put
And
up
I'm
a
like,
heart.
guys, the heart is in the perfect orientation to change it to a cock.
Yeah,
So
all,
here you go.
all you needed to do was just stretch out the top. Stretch out the top and then flare the
And
bottoms
then
a little
pinch,
bit.
yeah.
That was it. It was perfect.
Oh, it was great.
It's like all these technical terms, pinch the side, destroy.
You really had to shape the dick the right way.
Yeah.
The top.
Good thing you had an art major with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got an art degree, everyone.
Yeah.
Just because I'm more
He said, I don't
accredited,
like dental.
just because I'm more accredited does not make me any less of a person. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
It's an art major, though. It makes it seem like
It's not
you
a
have
major.
miniature mouse
It's 'cause
sized
it's not a major.
ding-a-ling under
It's not a
in your
major.
pants.
It's not a major.
He's a
It's
dentist.
two-year
He
degree.
knows. He's
It's
a
not a
dentist.
major. I'm sorry, business major, but it's an art major. I don't have that. So
What are you, a minor?
it's a 2-year degree. It's not technically a minor. It's just a 2-year degree.
Isn't that like an associate's or whatever?
Yeah.
What they call it? I bet R2D2 has a associate's degree.
Uh huh.
An associate's degree in art.
I could teach. I could be the next. I could be the next Miss Witchy.
Event. Unnamed event. I'm
Oh my
excited for
God.
this.
I
This
think
is-
Joey
this is
should
gonna
lead
be-
this off.
You've been waiting to talk about
Why
this
should
for
I
a
lead this?
while.
Okay. I'll
Either
lead it
Joey
off.
or Ken.
I could-
'cause they have to.
I could lead it off. I'll switch it over to Kenny. We have two different point of views of this situation.
Yeah.
So
This
we're
is
at an
a fun
event,
situation.
yeah, and everything's dying down. Just left is like really good
Kids,
close
parents.
family, yeah, really good close friends, family. Just a good group of people that know each other well enough. Well, people are young, and it's wet outside. It's raining, but we're in an enclosed area. But obviously, being young, we're outside running around, getting like our clothes wet, whatever. We come inside, try to warm up, and someone thinks it's a great idea to put their sock near the fire and try and let all the water come out a lot faster because they want dry socks. Well, socks are flammable, and they're made from like pretty flammable plasticky like fabric material
Alien smell, man.
when it
Rubidium.
melts smells really
That's what
bad.
they do.
And now I'm gonna kick it over to Kent to finish the rest of this story.
So this person in the story it could be any of us. It could be any of us. This event.
Ken,
could be
wasn't
any
it
of
you?
us.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't
It
me.
was me. We were young. How old were we?
It was 2019 also.
17.
That was 2019 also,
What a crazy year for us.
right?
Anyway, I will say, defending myself, we're in a whole group of friends, and we were outside. It was raining, and we went inside the pavilion to start warming up, drying up, getting a little more comfortable.
Already said that.
And when there's a whole bunch of 16, 17 years old all hanging out, one of us had the great idea, or mine was my idea. My feet were soaked, so I was gonna take off my shoes and put them by the fire to dry. And then obviously, since we're hanging out with all our friends are starting to screw around with taking my I did take my socks off. I guess that this is my fault, and putting them by the fire.
Dogs were out.
And then my friends were starting to have fun. We were all having fun of like taking the socks and like pretending you were gonna throw them in the fire, just because obviously I don't want my socks to burn. And then it came to the point where we had the socks on like a stick. And then we're hanging them right by the fire. If this is if the fire, whatever, I can't. If you're listening, you can't see it. But we have the sock on a stick, and we're hanging it around the fire. And then that's when it really started happening, when people like put it right above and start getting really close. And then so it got to the point where we're all screwing around. We are having fun as kids, but socks by the fire starting catching fire, and starting to smell real bad. And then this is where it gets very fun, because we're burning the socks, and then it's starting to smell. And then once the socks got burned a little bit, it was like, well, I'm not going to be able to put them on regardless, so I just have to throw them in there, or just screw around and have some fun with it. And then we're screwing around, having fun, and then these unknown people, from my perspective, starting to like, because people started noticing us, started saying stuff to us like, oh, throw your socks in the fire. Like, what are you doing? Like, it smells. Like, what do you mean, throw your socks in the fire? Like, what the hell are you doing? And then so, like, whatever, the socks, I don't know, end up in the fire, don't end up in the fire. But then, like, I forget exactly what they're saying, but like, oh, it smells, like, you're smelling, like, oh, I'm trying to...
You're giving it back to them,
Right. They're like, take the socks out of the fire, put them in the fire. So I'm like, oh, like, what do I do? I can't wear the socks. Let's just throw them away. People saying, oh, just throw them in there, take them out of the fire. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm young, whatever. So I think I put the socks in the fire, and people, like, they're still kind of like saying stuff. And then the one guy's like, oh no. And yeah, the one guy's like, oh, you should just throw yourself in the fire. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, but okay. We're laughing it off. Socks in the fire. I'm like, that was mean. And then he goes like, oh, it smells like asshole. And I'm like, oh, it smells like you. And the second I said that, that's when it all flipped. I thought
there's a line.
One time
There's
was
a line.
over.
You crossed it right there after
And it's
saying
like
that.
not the environment to be like fucking around in either.
No,
No.
It smells
It's
like
tough, though,
asshole.
'cause
You
I
know,
was
kids.
it was fun. We
It
were having a
was
good
like-
time.
I was trying to stay lucid, then they're saying stuff, and they're like, oh, throw yourself in the fire. Okay, why are you telling me to throw myself in the fire? You didn't need to say that, but I didn't need to be playing with my socks by the fire. My friends didn't have to be encouraging me to throw my socks in the fire. I didn't have to say what I needed to say, but then after the fact, I said that, and then unknown person came up over to us, and then looked at each and every one of our little 16 years old sitting there scared, and then gave us the talk of like how we should be respectful of where we are, why we shouldn't be screwing around, understand why we're here. And then like I remember he like got into Jackson's face, because Jackson like laughed a little bit. Like he's like talking to all of us, and then Jackson like spit out a little like laugh, and then he like instantly turned to Jackson, like, "Oh, are you laughing? You think this is funny?" No, because we're like young. We're like
Yeah, we were
16.
like all trying not to die laugh.
Oh
It's like
my
when the
God.
teacher yells at you in class and you're like sitting there.
Look
and,
at
like,
your one friend.
Like,
Just
I guess-
trying to keep it together.
I guess the way we can continue this is then I'll talk about what happened after, and then Nolan and Chuck can
Yeah.
give their point of view. So
Yeah.
then, like,
And then, go ahead. Yeah.
then like I think it was Joey, Chucky and Nolan all stayed back, and the rest of us kind of like walked out, because we're young. We're like, fuck, we just fucked up so bad. Like, this is so embarrassing. We should just like walk away.
Take a walk
away.
Clear the space.
So we go out into the parking lot, and out of any of the cars we're standing by in the parking lot, we happen to be standing right by the guy who was yelling at us, his truck, and all we hear is, what did he say? He was like, are they standing by my fucking truck or something?
Are they fucking with my truck?
They're messing with it. They're messing with it. I swear. I saw them.
There's like, it's like me, Kent, Jackson,
There were a
like,
lot of you guys out there.
and we're like, fuck. And then like unknown guy starts walking out, and we run into the woods because we're thinking like he's gonna fucking shoot us because he's like,
Get the hell away from there!
yeah, we're like, fuck, we're about to die.
Fucking with my truck.
Yeah, we're like, fuck, we're so screwed. So we run into the woods. I'm calling Chucky and Nolan, or I'm calling Chucky because they stayed back. Like, Chucky, come pick us up, like down the street. Like, we'll run, we'll meet you there. And I remember running through the woods, and Jackson goes, "We're gonna die" or something. Like, he's crying. Like, he's so scared.
He's got a thermal. He's got a thermal on his gun. He's
we're like,
see
It's a
us in the
scary
woods.
situation.
And that was like the first time I ever heard Jonathan Naaman swear because we're there and we're running. He's like, guys, it smells like asshole in here.
Like asshole. Fucking
And then like, what was like the point of view from inside the pavilion? Because like,
Oh my god.
It was funny. It was amazing.
We were like
Yeah, me,
outside.
Nolan and Joey were like looking at each other. We're like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Yeah.
I think we were talking to my mom. She was with us, and we were outside of the pavilion, like right near the entrance, standing out there talking, kind of looking at you guys. And my mom was like, "What just happened?" And we were like, "Yeah, all this happened." And now they're standing out there, and then all of a sudden you see them chugging along right past us, like, "I'm gonna kill those kids," and we're like, "Uh oh."
oh man,
Yeah, it was just we're all standing there
Over
like,
some
watching, like,
socks.
what the hell are these guys doing?
yeah.
It was funny watching everyone just rush out, and then we're just like, what the hell's
Yeah, we
happening? Because it's like 40, 50-year-old like people just booking it towards a truck, and you're just like, what is happening? And then all we see is all your guys' shirt disappear into the woods.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you guys did. You guys
Yeah.
were cooking.
You guys were, I'll give it to you guys.
That was the
You guys
fastest
were-
I've
You
ever
were out.
That's the
You guys
fastest.
That was
managed.
terrifying.
I think Chucky should talk about the getaway car.
Oh my god, we're calling him. Pick us up by the exit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I don't think I left, did I?
No, you picked us all up.
Yeah, you did.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Oh yeah, because I had the
Smallest.
mini. And you guys all piled into your-
Like, you picked us up by the opposite side of Winnick, heading towards the soccer
The
field.
tiniest
Yeah,
car
that's right.
ever, fitting 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little mini coupe, seats 4 people, and we're shoving like 8 different people in there, and I'm like, all right.
All right, so let's get a little R2D2 action, Ken.
R2D2. Oh, TP Torg. TP Torg.
Shout out Luke Torg.
A big landscaper. Going in the workers' union.
Yep.
So if you
Yep.
listen to the previous episode, we had quite the TPing phase. It was like kind of, I guess, what our friend group was kind of known for.
It was all
going around.
fun. All fun. No harm meant.
Kent's the only one that
It's
really
also
got into
bonding.
some real trouble over it.
Yeah.
I'm legendary. Legendary at
The
it.
Brooklyn
8
Heights,
houses
You're
one night.
The legendary asshole.
Yeah.
That's what you're
we
known
all
for.
did it. We all
You really
Keep an
you
eye
really
out
built
for the
yourself
red
a
Buick.
reputation for people hating you.
I don't know.
Red.
I don't know why it was like a theme with us, but like for whatever reason, we would always do Luke Torgerson's house. Like no context, no reason. We'd just
He
be
didn't
like,
do anything wrong.
Luke's is in the nice neighborhood. We won't get caught doing it at Luke's. Let's just go do Luke's house. And
We know the area.
I remember eventually got to the point where we're like, you know what? Let's start a war. We'll do is the guys in my grade, but I was with you guys because it was like baseball season or whatever.
Because he knew he wanted to choose the winning side.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
like it was you guys versus like Luke, Ryan, and all of them. And I remember the first night of the war, like that it starts, we're like, all right, we're doing Luke's house. And we have like video of like, I think Ken, your trunk was filled. Like we went to Walmart and bought boxes on boxes of cheap ass toilet paper.
I'll find the pictures. I definitely have them.
And we went to
Only
Luke's
paid for
house,
like half
and
of them.
we've never TP'd a house worse in
Oh yeah.
our
we
life.
we would pay for we'd get 3 boxes, and they were all individually wrapped in packs of 4. And
Yeah.
we would scan maybe a third of them. you know, and then just shove them in the box and just leave. So we'd go like it'd be like $60 of toilet paper, which like back then was like 3.5 like huge boxes.
We had
like
so much toilet
like
paper.
one person could maybe carry like two if they like couldn't see past them. Like you could only really carry one.
And like
You know?
if you know Luke's, like if anyone has driven past Luke's house, you know he has a huge pine tree on the corner. And for whatever reason, that was our target. We had our eyes set on that tree. Who can get the toilet paper?
The worst
It's
thing,
right on the corner.
that's
too.
the worst thing is
Everyone
like
can see it.
is once toilet paper
Right.
goes up so high, you can't do anything about it. You
Yeah.
know, like if you can't fit a broom up there to like, you know, hit it
Yeah.
down or like a couple brooms, like it's gonna stay there.
Yeah. So
Seeing his dad the days after with the rake.
Yeah.
You know who did this?
And then-
You know who did this to me?
and then like I remember like the next morning Luke wakes up, yeah, we forfeit. We're not doing it.
We're done.
Yeah, that was a rough
Yeah,
one.
because one night we spend
Award to
$60
end
to
all
$100 on toilet paper, and then had like 2 cars completely packed of kids, whereas like 10 kids all on this one house, and we just had this assembly line of people ripping open the. Or I think like before we even went to the house, we had all the packages opened up. So the loose toilet papers, loosen them up, and just have an assembly line, taking them, tossing to people, have our pictures, throwing them over the house, getting them into just an assembly line of just absolute TP.
Yeah.
I have the picture from that night and it is beautiful.
Oh my
That's
god!
so
Just
much
everything.
An assembly line.
That was
So
nuts.
much.
And that's like, it is. I would say that could be some of the best times we've worked together as a true team.
As a
And I
team.
think that
It's
helps
a
us
real
our social
team
aspect.
We
building
had 2 kids
exercise.
by the car, 2 kids like
I agree.
unraveling, like pre-unraveling, and then we had everyone else chucking them up.
It was a great system that worked
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
If we were put in any like
Phenomenal.
military like situation, we were good.
That was
you
our
know.
best performance ever.
Everybody had their part.
Absolutely.
It was amazing.
We had lookouts. We had code names. We didn't want people saying our names. We had
Yeah.
little strategies.
Gold
I remember
leader.
it was like even simple stuff, because obviously when you go TP, you want to wear as much dark clothes as you can. But when we would TP, we would try to wear bright clothes underneath our black sweatshirts. So if we really get split up, we can take off the black sweatshirt. So then we're walking around with like a neon green shirt. And so if someone sees us, like
And that's
They
the
wouldn't
thing.
be doing
That's the thing
anything
that
dumb.
people don't understand is like when the cheerleaders went to do it. Like obviously, like they called everybody to like let them know that they were doing it. But like they're a perfect example of like they did like eye black, everything's all black, everything like it's so obvious.
Yeah.
You know. So you just kind of like wear normal clothes, you know, that are darker colored. So just in case something happens,
We
like
should have worn like
you're good, you know.
Can we talk
should
about
have
your
bought those
situation, Ken?
pieces.
In Brooklyn Heights?
Nothing
That
bad
was
came of
fun.
it.
No, that's just
That
funny.
was-
That's just
the-
a funny
it
ass
is
story.
just funny.
after it was really funny. So either you can start or I can start.
You
I guess
start.
I'll
This
start.
is you're doing.
Yeah. So I forget. It was just like the peak of everyone TPing everybody, and like we would either be messing with people's cars, TPing their cars, or TPing their house. So then me and my one friend Nolan Fry thought it would be a legendary night if we could TP as many people as we possibly could, and we put a lot of thought into it. We went not as much as we should, because there was clearly a lot of holes in it. But we spent like a week in advance of a list of every single person we would do. We would drive the route. We drove the route like a couple days in advance, where we would park the car, places we could hide, and a whole game plan. And so our plan was to TP. I think there was like a total of like 13 people we wanted to TP. And so I think we got through all through Valley View, just about. Not all of Valley View, because we were going to end on some houses right next to our house. But we're in Brooklyn Heights now. I think we already got through, 7 houses, and we're at our 8th house, TPing it. And the one biggest hole in our system is that we didn't take account for once we TP'd, let's just say 4 houses in a neighborhood, that the neighborhood's very small, Brooklyn Heights, the cop cars are circling every 5 minutes. They're going to catch on, and they're going to start realizing, like, oh my god, there's another one. There's another one. So once we TP'd a little bit, then even more cop cars are circling, so now they're looking for us, and we did not take that into account at all. And then it was a very fun situation where we're at the 8th house, we're TPing it.
Whose
And
house?
it's like a friend,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, and it's like a what's like a dead end. Like you pull into like
Cul-de-sac.
it's a little cul-de-sac. Yeah, and so
Cool.
my one friend parked like towards the entrance of it, and then I was the one TPing, and a cop car pulled in like when I'm TPing, and like I have him on speaker. I have my headphones on so I can listen to him in the car. He's like, the cop's coming. And I'm like, fuck. And he's like, what his plan was is to quickly swoop around, pick me up, and then we would leave. However, we weren't nearly as fast enough, so we picked me up, and the cop car was just sitting at the end of the cul-de-sac, or like kind of like blocking us in, and we're in like the turnaround area. So our great idea was just pull into like cars on, just pull into a driveway, turn off the car, and turn off the lights. And then so we're sitting there, and like it was foolproof in the moment. We pull the cop should be able to see us. We pull in, turn off the car, turn off the lights, sit back in our seats, and then all of a sudden the cop car circles around and parks his car right in the circle of the cul-de-sac. I'm like, oh, we're fucked. Here we go. Like we're reaching for our IDs, making sure we can get all our information, taking off our black hoodies. We're like, well, like what are we gonna say? Like this is what we're doing. All of a sudden, the cop drives back down the cul-de-sac again. So like, we're good. We're safe. We're safe. This is our 8th house we TP'd. We're good. And then the problem comes. So like we're sitting there like, all right, we gotta go. And like our idea was, let's make sure the cop's gone before we just drive out, so it's not obvious. So we got out of the car and we were both just walking down the middle of the street, the two of us, to get to the cul-de-sac. And I remember it was kind of like an L before it hit the main road. We turned the corner, just both walking, and then I remember it like it was yesterday of just seeing the cop at the other end, lights off, just rolling towards us. And so we're like, shit. And then so we run, hide in someone's backyard, and then long story short, we literally stood in that, there was like 2 more cop cars that came, and we literally stayed in that backyard until 5 in the morning. And then as one cop car left, my buddy Nolan Fry, he's like, all right, the cops are gone. So we tried running towards his car, but when like he like hopped the fence, went through trees, I'm like, no, wait, and all I remember is like 4 flashlights shine on him, and like, it's police, freeze, and I'm like, I can't go that way. So then I run the complete other way. I have my one friend call me, pick me up. He's all pissed off, like talking to me. I'm like, he's like, yeah, like I'm always picking up people. My friend Nolan Fry's like, the cop knows you're with me. Like, just come over here. He's waiting for you. I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm not going over there. And then so he eventually he's with the cops. His parents have to come pick him up because we're under 18. And then drive him home. And my friend picks me up and takes me to my dad's house. And the funniest thing is driving back to my dad's house, like I'm shaking because I'm all nervous. Where it's literally like sitting in backyards for 2 hours, waiting for the shit to go by. And then like we pull in. Like, I'm telling my friend Carter the story, and, like, we pull onto my street, and then, like, we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like, as soon as we're getting up to my house, I see a text from my dad at, like, 5 in the morning. I'm talking to the police. Where are you? Hey.
My God.
And then, like, I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I'm literally, like, the driveway, I see him, like, oh, my God. I'm walking up to my house, and I just see my dad. Arms crossed, standing by the door, and I'm like laughing. I'm like this, I'm like this. I'm like, oh my god, and it was the funniest thing. And like I walk in, and I'm like, hey dad, and I'm like scared to see what he's gonna say. First thing he says, so no one snitched on you. yeah, he did. He's like, we'll talk in the morning. And then whatever, talk in the morning. I had to call the police station. I was all good. And then it was funny from Nolan's perspective, the friend who I was TPing with. Because his parents had to pick him up, and he said it was really funny as they're driving home. They have to drive past my house, and by the time they drove past my house, like a cop was sitting in the driveway talking to my dad, and they're like, oh, they got Ken, and they're just, we're all just getting fucked. Oh my God.
The worst part of that is,
unbelievable.
So this is happening. Ken's probably arriving home at this time, and I'm being woken up to like 7 phone calls. Because at the time, I was dating someone, and her best friend got TP'd by Kent and Nolan. And they thought it was me that did it.
Than anybody.
So, and then Joey's ex-girlfriend also thought it was me too. Because she had a Ring camera, and Nolan, I guess, looked like me on the camera. So,
we had a weird list.
It's 7 a.m., and then the girl I was dating's best friend was dating Owen at the time too, and he got blamed for it as well. Like they thought it was
Small
me and
world.
Owen because Kent's dumbass right in fucking like in TP, he writes her name or something in the front lawn. It says like fuck and then the last name of the family or something like that. Something really messed up.
I don't think we said anything.
There was something bad written in their grass and TP, and I'm gonna have to ask them now about what it said because they'll remember. But I remember it's 7:30 in the morning, and I
Whose
go
house?
pick up Owen. I can't say
Which girlfriend?
the only one.
Of who?
Yours?
Me, yeah,
Like
Oh,
oh.
yeah. But Owen was dating her best friend at the time.
Yeah, I can't think of.
it's so funny watching the gears turn in his head.
I
You
can't
can almost see the
remember.
hamster running on the wheel.
Well,
I
either
don't-
way,
I
that's
don't
irrelevant
think we
now.
said like.
But I had to go pick up Owen at 7:30 in the morning, and we're like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And we're driving around to like all these houses, being like, this was not us. Like, we promise you, we did not do this. And I'm like trying to figure out, texting, who is this? And the house that Kent got caught at, they left a note at the front door, and the girl who, like, it was either a roll of toilet paper or something. They're like, this looks like your handwriting. I'm like, this also was not me. Like, I'm gonna find out who it was. And they had me I texted Ken. I'm like, hey, was this you? And he's like, no, it was so and so. I forgot who you told me it was, but I told everyone that it was whoever Ken told me. Like, it's not me. It was this guy. And for the longest time, maybe like 2 years, I didn't know it was Kent until I found out it was Kent. And then I like had to go apologize to whoever I said it was. It's just like the most fucked.
Legendary.
I was so pissed.
Legendary.
Yeah.
8 houses in one night. Running from the cops.
That won't
Friend
be as
picks me
funny
up.
to anyone, I'm sure, except us. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is legendary. Soaping fountain, fireworks, or paint dry?
Oh.
I was just saying the fireworks were.
Fireworks, yeah. Nolan's got a good story on that one.
Oh my god, with his hair.
That was To this day, I still get PTSD when I smell burnt hair. It's not a good smell to have on you. So we had a Roman candle in the fight the 3rd of July, and
I'll see if I can
Kent's
find that video too.
family's notorious for throwing a 3rd of July party.
Oh yeah.
So, as kids would do, or what were we? We graduated by then, right?
Oh.
Yeah. I think so. I think that was the year we
I
graduated.
thought it was.
It was 21.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was
Yeah.
the summer
So-
of 21, so it was...
I was
You were graduating.
Carter,
at that.
buys a bunch of fireworks and Roman candles, and we do our yearly tradition where we go in the baseball field and shoot them at each other. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep our distance. We're not trying to like kill anyone, but like we like to see them fly around and stuff, and then we'll like get the big ones and throw it up in the middle and watch it go nuts. So it's always a fun time. So we're cleaning up all the candles that we had just dropped from running around.
I have the
And-
video. I'm sorry.
I had we were all standing in like a little circle, and I remember Riley had one more Roman candle to shoot, and he decides to just aim it straight into the little group we were standing in, and the first shot goes off and goes flying over our heads, and I'm like, oh shit, and he was behind me, so I turn around and look. Also, Mom, if you're listening to this, like, I'm sorry, I never told you. But,
I'm so
I
sorry.
turned around and I was wearing a hat with a strap on it, so there was a little bit of my hair stuck right there. I turned my head and boom, this thing gets shot right into my head. At lightning speed, it happened like that. And I go down like this, I'm like, shit, what just happened? And like I get up and I pull my hat off and I go like this, and there's just clumps of hair in my hand. I'm like I'm smacking my head to make sure it's not going to catch fire or anything.
That's us just shooting them. But,
Someone's got a video or
I
a
do.
picture because I never.
just has it.
So first of all, it was sticky. Oh, it was nasty. Like you could feel pieces of my scalp just coming off. It was awful. So I'm like, I need to go home right now and hop in the shower. This is not good. So I go home. Also, Riley, I love you now, but never apologized after.
What an asshole.
I was furious. So I go home, I
We're not
take a
holding
shower,
a
and I
grudge.
am just rubbing my head, and it's still just falling out. I get out of the shower, it's still sticky and all that stuff. It was awful. I get out, I finally look at the damage, and it was right here. Maybe a spot this big was just bald. The hair was gone.
Oh.
I wore a hat with no strap on it for 4 months straight until it all grew back.
Oh, I have the actual good video too
Oh, the whole
of like
war.
the
Oh, yeah.
entire
That
people.
was beautiful.
That's what it looked like. If any, yeah,
Oh my god.
Nobody was
Joey,
hard.
send that to me
There's-
so I can post it.
I will. There's like probably a good 15 people
Yeah.
spread out between 3 groups: one on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. Left, right, and center field. It's always a good time.
Jesus,
We always have a
that's
great
just
time.
sweet.
Amen. Amen.
America's
I
birthday.
will,
They were celebrating America.
I'll never.
God
After
bless them.
almost turning into my dad and going bald, I will not be participating in those.
Turning bald a few years earlier.
I don't know if it was the year before or the same year. Well, I remember instead of doing it on the field for some reason, we were like on the opposite side of the fence in someone's backyard. Not Joey's back. Maybe it was Joey's backyard.
It had to be
That was my
backyard.
great aunt's backyard.
We did your
we
great
Quarterbacks
aunt's.
also,
at each other?
yeah,
Bottle rockets?
Yeah.
yeah.
We were doing the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing, I think. And I remember I just hear Kent yell, "Oh, I have to go pee." I was like, "Okay." And I look to my left, and like, because I'm trying to dodge like a Roman candle, and one goes flying by Kent. And if you know Kent, Kent has something that's abnormally bigger.
Some
He's a
would
male.
say.
Abnormally
He
bigger
He
than
has male reproductive parts.
are a tad bit oversized for his body, and it was well known, and
I think they're
everyone else
perfect.
has seen it, and this is how I was introduced to it. It's like I see it in slow motion. The Roman candle comes by, perfectly lights up the night sky, and I see Ken not pointing towards the tree, but pointing towards the field at everyone just peeing. And I just went, holy shit. But that was the craziest memory I have with Roman candles.
Just imagine
yeah.
that. That
What the
Bob.
hell is that?
Just imagine
That's on
that
the video
Bob
now.
just facing you.
I'm gonna get out of the hot dog inn. That was a staple of summer for many of you. Andy, I don't know if you've ever made it out to the hot dog
Never.
inn, but she is no longer with us. But
Unfortunately.
there's been 4 generations of Burrowies going there and eating their, you could say, good hot dogs.
Best
Even though
Very.
they probably like fingernails in them. I mean, it's just there was something about it that was just
It's the
nostalgic.
It was the atmosphere. That was it.
That chili dog, it blows Cincinnati chili out of the water.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Oh yeah.
Best chili dog you will ever have. And I'd just like to say, we go there after baseball games. My dad would take us all over there. I'd just like to. It was a big part of
That
our
was
summers.
awesome.
Yeah.
I remember whenever we would go, there was one time it was me, Joey, Nolan, and your dad, Nolan, and he's like, "All right, buddy system, buddy system." I'm like, "Mr.
Yep,
Bro, you're
buddy
my buddy."
system. It's
I'm
in the
so
middle
sorry,
of the
you're
system.
my buddy. And then he would always make a joke. We're leaving with 5, coming back with 4. It's a good trip in our eyes.
Oh yeah, that place was scary.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Good scary though.
The
Well, I
good
hope-
scary.
I hope everyone enjoyed us reminiscing on our childhood.
In
A lot of it was just TPing.
Yeah, TPing.
your weekly dose of
Toxic
caffeinated
players.
inspiration.
Well,
Oh, bye, Chucky.
thanks everyone for listening to another week. Adios.